flat bench, 6 reps of 185 pounds. First time in my life I've ever done it. I had to get some spotting for my wife, but it's all good. I want to say thank you to gym guys, specifically to Leroy Huggins, to Ryan, to Giovanna, for helping me out over the last 3 months get to this point. If you're considering personal trainers, gym guys is the way to go. They are awesome.
And we are live on a Wednesday night, a terrible Wednesday night here in Northern Jersey. K&K Sports Show with my two co-hosts, Mr. Siciliano. I'm Kurt Valenti with Mr. Siciliano and, of course, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. I'll just say this before I go to you guys. I'm fired up. We got NBA playoffs coming up, Kenny. Our Knicks ready to roll, baby. Hot 11 out of 12. They're on at 9 o'clock tonight. And I'm so excited because we're going to talk NFL draft. And I just can't wait till June 1st or June 2nd to find out if it's going to happen. And we're going to get to that in a couple of seconds. But let me start with Mr. Siciliano. I know you were fired up a week ago because you didn't get him, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But I know the dream's over with no Devontae Smith, but how you doing otherwise, Mr. Sis?
Good. I just, again, I feel bad for him because I don't really think he's that happy being on the Eagles. I really don't.
Okay. Mr. Kirkpatrick. Oh, I'm sorry, Sis. Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you, my friend?
Doing well as always. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone, and still wearing this lucky Knicks hat. Going on almost 4 weeks now, Kurt.
Yep.
We got a big one tonight with the Nuggets, and looking forward to it. Let's see what we got tonight. Tonight's going to be a tough one.
A couple comments. Nelson Rodriguez, our good friend, was asking something. Nelson, just message me. Don't post that on here. We're talking. If he wants to message me, that's fine. Kenny obviously saying good evening. Coach Breslin is saying, what's up, guys? How are you, Coach Breslin? He was a great guest on All In on High School Sports last night. Our
Yes,
special
I think
guest.
that President was awesome as always. I did catch that show last night at work, Kurt. It was a good show last night.
Okay, Kenny, our special guest tonight, Paul Rosen, who you'll introduce him in a second, but he's saying so excited to come on. We're excited to have him in about a half hour.
Yeah, I met Paul earlier this week in a Giants chat, and we were just making good point after good point. And I said I threw the invite out for Paul to join us tonight, and he said absolutely he would love to come on. So we invited him to come on at 8:30, and we'll talk some NFL and some Giants with Paul, NFL draft, and we'll share some of his stories as well. I got a nice little bio on him, and we'll share his stories at about 8:30. We'll bring him on.
Awesome. Our good friend Cole Allen is saying hello. Hello, Cole. Thank you again for coming on last week. Panther fan.
Oh, what's up, bud? Hope your Panthers are doing okay down there with your J.C. Horn. I think you guys got a stud corner in your NFC South. I think they needed that stud corner for the Panthers, and they got it. I think they did the right thing in the draft.
And Coach Breslin and Coach Siciliano spilt the beans before, saying he's on a clinic with Coach Garrett, sis. So your source is right, Mr. Siciliano. So
I don't talk nonsense. You know me.
there you go. All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick, what's going on? And Cole is saying, oh, yeah, definitely. So he seems like he's happy with that draft from last Thursday night.
Let's start with our segment I introduced a couple weeks ago called Take 5. It's a little short version of some of the popular news stories or some different topics that were up. And these aren't meant to last 20 minutes each. These are meant to be 1-2 minutes each topic, each person, and audience participation as well.
Okay.
And so my take one is going to be the news news since draft night, Aaron Rodgers. And we just got news every day about Aaron Rodgers. Kurt, for those who don't know, is Bronco fan. Sis and I are Giants fans. His name has been leaked into our two teams numerous times through numerous chats, through numerous stations, ESPN, et cetera, et cetera. And I just want overall thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Kurt, I'll start with you as the Bronco fan, and then I'll go to Sis, and then I'll add, and anybody else who wants to add there, I'll pick who I'm going to take sides with on the Take 5 on the first one with Aaron Rodgers.
All right, first
So
off,
would you want him with the Broncos? Give me your overall thoughts on Aaron Rodgers in about 2 minutes.
all right, first off, real quick, Coach Breslin, if you're watching, I hope you appreciate the green screen game tonight, bringing it to even a different level because we've got a nice Aaron Rodgers one behind. But Kenny, listen, since 2005, that's what, 16, 17, 18, 19, 5 years, right? 5 years. Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Case Keenum, Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, Jeff Driscoll. Get it done at all costs. Kenny, they said it right now. This team adds Aaron Rodgers. They are the favorite in the AFC. Get it done. We're a quarterback away. I don't care what it takes. He puts us over the top. Mahomes, Rodgers, KC, Denver for the AFC title. It's a done deal. We're the better defense. We got the better receivers. We got the better running game. They got the quarterback. We're one away. Give me Rodgers, and I'll tell you right now, in the next 4 years, another trophy's going on that wall. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it takes. 3 1s, 4 1s, 2s, 3s. You want one of the receivers, take them. Chubb, take them. Get it done. The best, possibly no less than the second best quarterback, but possibly the best in football. I'm going to debate it. Get him here. He wants to come. He wants to play in Denver. Get this man to Denver ASAP. June 1st, June 2nd, whenever they want to do it, get him to Denver.
Let me get Sis's take as a Giant fan, what his thoughts are on Aaron Rodgers. Would you want him as a Giant? And then I'll come back and ask some questions for you guys so I can debate on whose take I'm taking here.
I don't
Your
think
thoughts on Rodgers, Sis?
I don't think, first of all, the Giants have the money that this guy's looking for. Number one. Number two, for Kurt's sake, before he strokes out tonight, God forbid, that I hope that he does go to Denver. But again, he's locked in for 23 this year, 21 next year. And personally, I think he's going to stay right where he is in Green Bay.
Okay, I'm going to add a little something to it. Sis, I'm going to, this is why we do a show. I'm going to friendly disagree with the 21 million. That is a steal, I think, in today's market, with Dak Prescott getting 40 million a year.
Now
you can add that guy at the right price, sis. At the right price, I'd add him to the Giants, but it's got to be the right price. For the Broncos, you got to go all in, like Kurt was saying. Get it done. It worked with Peyton Manning, and you got a beast in Kansas City and Mahomes over there for the next 10 years.
Yep.
You got to worry about. If you can compete with them for 3 to 5 years, then you worry about the next 5 years after that.
Exactly.
So you go and get them. So I like both your takes on it. For the Giants, it's not, I don't want to give up more than 2 number ones. And that's not, that's even saying a lot. But that being said, the 25-ish million a year is a steal. So my question would be to Kurt, what would make it happen, Kurt? What would you have to give up?
Well, they're definitely going to have to do 2 ones, probably 2 ones, a second and a third just to start pick-wise. And they're probably going to want a player or two. Is that player Surtain? Maybe they're saying, we give them Surtain, they give us the kid Davis that they took. It's we got the better corner, we do that. And then maybe are they going to, I know there's little rumors about Tim Patrick. Listen, I would love it to be Patrick. I don't want to give up Jerry Jeudy, but if it's push comes to shove and it's Aaron Rodgers, I gotta get Jerry Jeudy. And hey, next year Davante Adams is a free agent. So
and overall, I think that offense is better as an overall name wise. Besides Davante Adams,
we're the better offense.
Better names in Denver. So, and he's made Scantling, he's made Geronimo Allison, he's made Alan Lazard, he's made Tanyan. So he's made all these guys better. He'll make, and you're gonna have the running back in Gordon and your rookie.
Yep.
You're still gonna have Cortland Sutton. Obviously, I'm not gonna put him in the same level as Davante Adams right now, but Aaron Rodgers might make him that level.
Yeah.
That's how good Aaron Rodgers is.
Yep.
So I would definitely want to take him, because another team, what I didn't mention was there's 3 names that he wanted to go to the other day. He said it was Denver, the Giants, and then it would be your worst nightmare and Bronco fans' nightmares if he went to the Raiders. So you got to be in a bidding war, no playing games.
No.
Make that call. If you're giving up Aaron Rodgers, this is what we're giving. And if they call you and say the Raiders are going to give us this, you tell them, what is it going to take to get Aaron Rodgers?
Kenny, the thing is, it's like, can you just imagine? There's no more, what about Drew Lock? What about a rookie? It's Aaron freaking Rodgers. You're putting him Rodgers with Fant, with Sutton, with Jeudy, with Hamler, with Patrick, with Gordon. It's just crazy. Like, this team, Kenny, is legit. Like, legit. I mean, they said it. They would be easily the second favorite in the AFC, and they might even be the favorite in the AFC. Just with him, you got to do it. It's been too long. Like you said, and the formula worked. Get Peyton Manning. It worked with Elway on the way out. It worked with Manning on the way out. Hey, you give Aaron Rodgers this defense and these weapons. Come on, man. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Listen, I don't want to see Bradley Chubb go, and hopefully it doesn't have to be Bradley Chubb. And I know there was a rumor today saying, but they are saying it's probably going to be Bridgewater, because they're going to want a vet quarterback. So if it's Bridgewater, 2 1s, 2 2s, maybe Surtain and Tim Patrick, I got to do it. Coach Breslin saying, Washington football team, let's get him. With RD, look out. I just don't think he's going to go NFC, Kenny. I think they're going to ship him to the AFC.
No, my final take would be, I think he's going somewhere. I don't think it's going to be the Giants. I think it's got to be AFC. you don't want to have that monster in the NFC. You know, Brett Favre went to Minnesota, and you don't want to do that again. So
Right.
that's my final take on it. So I would lean towards him going somewhere else. Just I don't know where yet.
Okay.
That would be my final take.
It's going to be, you know what? It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks because, again, the money with the match, with the salary cap, if they trade him after June 1, they save a little money. So it's probably going to take a while, but every day, hey, on Twitter, checking it out, and let's go.
Yep. All right, boys, take two. Take two?
Yes, sir.
Saturday, Kentucky Derby. We had people on making their picks. We all made our picks. One person and one trainer got overlooked in this Derby by us on the panel and our guest that we had on last week, and that's Mr. Bob Baffert and his horse Medina Spirit, which gave Bob Baffert a record, says 7 Kentucky Derby winners in history. I'm going to make this one, going to start with Sis on this one. Does this horse go to Preakness and win Preakness and have a shot at the Triple Crown? And is there any stopping Mr. Bob Baffert in the future?
I'll answer the latter first. He's a great trainer. There's no stopping him in the future. Again, they're a very hard feat to win all three, so I'm going to say he doesn't win the Preakness.
Kurt, how about you?
I agree with Sis. I'm going to say he's not going to win the Preakness. I just think that, I am going to say this, though, and Jen was telling me this. We were talking about this last week because we did something, nice little special ceremony for our great friend, Mr. Briggs, last week. And we were talking about it, and you kept saying, I know you kept saying on air, come on, Briggsy, give me the Derby winner, give me the Derby winner. And Jen and I, during dinner tonight, were talking, and we just said, think about this, though. What's the name of the horse?
Medina Spirit.
And Jen said something like, "It's when you think about it, it's me in spirit." So, is it something we should have known? Is it something
we should have known? He loved Baffert, and he loved Velasquez. I was on your show before K&K. It was Briggsy on Sports. I came on your show a few years back, and he had me on. You guys had me on for Derby Talk, and me and Briggs went through, and he said, "You always bet the jockeys in the Kentucky Derby and the trainers." And there was only about, and you can eliminate 15 out of the 20 horses, he said.
Yeah.
And always bet the trainers in the Derby, always bet the jockeys in the Derby.
But just like Sis said, I agree with Sis. I don't think he's going to win a Triple Crown. I think he's going to get beat in the Preakness next week. But again, just what Sis said, this guy is insane, man. I mean, number 7, again, all we keep hearing is Pletcher. It's not even close anymore. I mean,
no.
Pletcher's 4 horses, 6 horses. This guy comes out, bing, 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 no respect, wins another Derby. The guy, I don't know, Sis, is he the best ever? Is he, Sis?
I don't know if he's the best ever, but he's right up there. I mean, you got Chad Brown, got some really good trainers out there.
I'm going to throw out there, Kurt. I was the big Fletcher guy, but I'm going to agree with you with Baffert. I'm going to go a little different on this. I think he is going to win the Preakness, and I'll tell you why. I live down here in Maryland, so I know the Pimlico track a little bit, and the Pimlico track favors speed and front runners a lot of times. So if that track is favoring speed and front runners, this horse went right to the lead and didn't look back. That's going to hurt him in the Belmont because the Belmont's going to be a longer. Right. So I'm going to say he wins the Preakness, and it's going to be an exciting time for people because, this pandemic going on, we're going to see maybe another shot at a Triple Crown. So New York will be fired up for the Belmont. And we'll see what happens. So I think he is going to get by this second leg in the Preakness. I really do.
Okay.
And let's move on to take 3, boys. Anybody else got anything on the Derby? Real quick.
No.
Okay. So
I'll tell you, my horse, Rock Your World, was a big-time disappointment. Bad start, got out of the gate, and never a shot.
Yep. Take three. I'm going to move it on to the NBA. And my question is going to be on these NBA super teams, the Lakers and the Nets. Kurt says. I'll start with Kurt on this one. My question is, are these super teams in trouble? And did they not, are they maybe being a little too overconfident, resting people, not having their guys play all the time? Could this backfire in their face? I'm going to give you a scenario right now. The season ended today. The Lakers would be playing the Clippers in round 1. Now, that should be a Western final that you may see in round 1. And right now, the Nets are only 1 game up on the Bucks for the 3 seed. If the Nets get the 3 seed, they're going to be facing the Heat. And we all know what the Heat did last year. So these super teams in trouble, Kurt. Or, is there any possibility that this may backfire in their face, these super teams, and this could be the year of the underdog?
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and yeah, I'll answer it with yeah. I think both of the teams are in trouble. The Nets, I've never been sold on the Nets. I just watched them lose twice again. I don't want to hear they didn't have Harden. They didn't do ba 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 ba. They still can't stop Greek Freak. They're not going to stop Embiid. They're not going to beat either one of those teams. So, not that they're in trouble, because of seedings. I just don't think they're the best team in the East. The other team, the Lakers, again, you want to get cute with, LeBron is, and I'll just say this. Clown is the biggest understatement. He's worried about all this other stuff in the world, and he's making himself look like a fool on the court. He came out the other day and said, last year, he said, with the pandemic, let these 5 teams, the Pelicans, the Suns, let them battle it out and have a play-in tournament. Now, when he's in the play-in tournament, he said, whoever decided that should be fired. Why? Because you're going to possibly be in that play-in tournament? You know what? Now he's also saying, I'm never going to be healthy again. That's his out already. The guy, again, he's not Michael Jordan. He's never going to be Michael Jordan. He tries to be Michael Jordan. They're not going to win this year. Anthony Davis was the one that took that team last year and brought them that NBA championship. LeBron James will not do it this year. And the Nets will go further than the Lakers. The Lakers are in trouble. They're not even going to beat the Clippers, in my opinion, if they have that series.
Great. How about it, sis?
Too many people on the Nets getting hurt, like Kurt said. I think the 76ers are going to win the whole thing.
It's a good pick.
And you know what? Like you said, like I just said, anybody besides the Nets and the Lakers are an underdog, because everybody has the Nets and the Lakers. And I'm going to agree with both you guys. Do I think the Sixers are going to win? They got a shot. They got Doc Rivers there now. They don't have the coach that choked. What was his name? You all know who I'm talking about. If anybody's out there knows who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's not there anymore. They've been playing hard all year. They look like a new team. You still got the Bucks in the East. Our red hot Knicks are no slouches. So you got some teams in the East catching up to those Nets, and the chemistry is not there. I'm sorry. When Kyrie is in that lineup, the chemistry is not there. Mm-hmm. And how could you have chemistry? You got a guy playing once every 2 weeks.
Right.
You got another guy playing. You got a different lineup every day. The chemistry is not going to be there. And then going out to the West, you got 2, I would even say 3. 3 teams out there that are very, very intriguing. And that's the Suns, the Jazz, and the Nuggets. I am impressed with the Nuggets.
Me too.
And we got a tough game tonight with them. I am impressed with the Nuggets after losing to Murray. They could have folded it in, and they haven't. They have one downfall against the Lakers, but, hey, they're still up there. So the Lakers are in a lot of trouble. You still got the Clippers out there.
Yep.
The Lakers are in a lot of trouble, and it would be music to my ears if we had both of these teams out of the playoff.
Kenny, real quick, we got a comment from our great friend Carson Shear from Ticket Time saying, whoa, have a great show, legends. And how about them Knicks? How about them, baby? How
Carson,
about
thank you, buddy. We'll see you at 10. Check out Carson if you want to see us both on TV at the same time. Put him on YouTube. Take your time. He's our guy on Thursdays, and we will catch up with him after our show for sure. Say hello. Good luck tonight, bud.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
So, yeah, that'd be my take on it. Anybody want add anything else real quick to it?
It's going to be an interesting playoff, I think. I'm just fired up because we haven't had Nick playoffs since 2013. So I'm going to take whatever I can get. And I'm really excited for Nick playoff basketball.
Okay. Take 4. I'm going to switch it off to MLB on this topic here.
Carson saying thanks, guys. Kenny, Carson saying thank you.
You got it, bud. We'll see you a little later.
Absolutely.
Take 4, Major League Baseball.
Uh-oh, Richie Katwinka. Nobody cares about the Knicks. LOL.
Oh, Richie's perfect. Richie, you just joined at the perfect time. I got my take 4. This is Major League Baseball. Sis, I got some slow start teams listed here. I got 5 of them. I want to know, in your opinion, who do you think will bounce back and who's going to continue to be a disappointment? I got the Yankees 15-14. I got the Mets 11-12. I got the Braves 13-16. I got the Twins 11-17, and I got the Reds 14-15. Who do you think's going to have a bounce back, and who do you think's going to continue to be a disappointment this year?
I think the Braves will have a bounce back, and I think the Yankees will continue to be a disappointment.
Kurt, you want to?
I think the Braves are definitely going to be on by the way, Richie Katwinka saying MLB a real sport. Braves start to catch fire. I totally agree with him and says the Braves are going to be the team that's going to heat up. Disappointment. Would you say Yankees, Mets?
I got the Braves, the Twins, and the Reds.
You know what? I'm going to go with the Twins. Very disappointing in them. They just don't have the pitching now. You know, like their hitting is, at least the Yankees have Cole. You know, like the Twins got absolutely nothing. So if the Twins don't score and score high, 8-6 games, I'm going to say the Twins as a disappointment. But I'll agree with Rich and Sis and say Atlanta. Richie's saying Yankees are good enough to win that division.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Richie, but I'm going to say right now they're not good enough to. You know what? No, I'm still thinking the Rays are going to catch fire. The Rays have our number. Until we start beating the Rays, Rich, I'm going to continue to have them as a disappointment. I'm going to make Kurt happy on this. I think the Mets shaking things up there, firing some coaches. The Mets firing their hitting coaches. I think that's going to shake that team up a little bit, and that team's going to catch a little fire.
Okay. Richie's saying the Blue Jays might be all in at this point and go out and get a big starter. Good point.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go with the Twins as well. I think it finally caught up to them. Signing J.A. Happ as your big off signing season pitcher this year is backfiring in their face. See, we know what he was with the Yankees, right? So
matter of fact, they're losing 3-2.
So I think the Twins are continue to be a disappointment, and I don't think anything's going to change there.
Now, can I ask this something, Kenny, real quick?
Yeah, and then I got one more take that we'll finish off on.
A comment from Richie. Lindor scares the hell out of me, sis. Are you worried? Francisco Lindor, all that money in New York Mets, batting 157.
Nope.
Not worried yet?
No, he's again, when you got all that money, man, what's the incentive to really get pumped up for every game? He is what he is.
Yeah. I got one more take, guys. We'll do this one kind of, on the short here because it's take 5. We go from most important to the least important one here. I got college football, sis, for you with the Alabama hat. It's way too early, but I want your way too early college football playoff and national champion.
Alabama, for sure. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Yep.
There's like 2 or 3 teams, man. I mean, LSU,
It's a good one.
Clemson again,
Yep.
Ohio State.
There you go. I like it. Kurt.
Wow. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Clemson, Alabama. I'm going to put Oklahoma in. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put Oklahoma in because I'm going to take – who did I take last year, Kenny? Iowa State. I'm going back to Iowa State.
They're highly ranked again. Yep, they got a lot of players. They got a lot of players back.
I'm going to go Clemson, Alabama, Georgia, Iowa State.
Okay, mine is going to be very similar. I got a couple different ones, but this is Bama's up there, and Georgia's up there in the SEC.
Okay.
I got Oklahoma getting there because the Big 12. I think they're going to run for the Big 12.
But Big 12 is so Iowa State. Don't forget about them.
Yep, I know. And then my 4th team to sneak in there's in the Pac-12. I like, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I always think they're overrated, but I think USC has a big year.
Okay.
And then my sleeper, if I had a sleeper, I'm going to throw North Carolina in there with Sam Howell. If you're the number 1 rated quarterback, you got a chance of going to the playoff. National champion, if you had to pick one, I'm going to say, I hope I'm wrong, sis. I think this may be Georgia's year, and they beat Bama in the title game. We'll see.
Keep dreaming.
It's going to be hard to beat the Kings. It's going to be hard. So that's my take 5, guys.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed it this week.
Nice job. Yep, it was good.
And we're ready for our guest. I'll bring him on in.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I will bring him in, and then I will do the introduction.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, you do a fantastic job with your take 5. You know.
Yep.
So.
Hey, it's Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Good. Good evening, guys. How
What's
are you
up, Paul?
Doing well. Let me introduce
The show.
to our audience and to the panel. Paul Rosen. I met Paul this week on one of our Giant chats on Facebook, and we both were getting good points out, and they invited him on the show, and he was more than willing to join us. So we want to thank you first, Paul. And then got a little short bio that you gave me. If you don't mind, I'll read it to the audience. And
Not at all.
So, Paul, you were born and raised in New York, and you moved to Florida 7 years ago. You're married, and you're a 2-time cancer survivor. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Human resources executive for various healthcare organizations. You're an 18-time marathon finisher and triathlete finisher, including the Ironman triathlon.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And you grew up watching all sports. You're a Giants fan for 54 years since '67, ticket holder for 25 years. And you're also a Mets fan, Knicks fan, Rangers, and Islanders. And you got 2 great Giants stories that we'll get into a little later when we talk Giants that I'd love to hear. I think the guys would like to hear it too in the audience.
Sure.
So I got a quick question. Marathon, was that New York, Boston, Paul, or all over?
10 New York City marathons, a few others in the New York area. And actually, my most favorite marathon, I ran the Lake Placid Marathon, 26.2 miles, and I came in and I carried the engagement ring and I proposed to my wife after I finished the marathon up in Lake Placid.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Let me make the formal introductions. Kurt Valenti and Eddie Siciliano. We call him Sis with the Alabama hat.
How you doing, Kurt? Hey, sis.
How are you? Thank you, Paul, for coming on again. We got Kenny. We got a question for him, and we'll get into this in a second. But Paul, just remember this one. It's from our good friend Coach Breslin. He's saying, "Welcome, Paul. Congratulations. What does Paul think about the Giants not getting a lineman in the draft?" So we'll hold that, Kenny, when we ask him a question.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that out there. That's one question already for Paul.
Sure. And like I said, Paul's got a couple good Giant stories that I definitely want to get into as well. So yeah, no, definitely. great story, Paul. Love that story about the marathons. And so you grew up
Actually,
as 67 and Mets fan. That's we're Giants, Knicks fans. You have, but
of
Kurt's a
course.
Broncos fan. He's a little different. He likes the blue and orange. But Sis and I are Giants fan, and Sis is a trainer, and Sis also tried out for the Giants. What year was it, Sis, that you tried out for the Giants?
1977.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, a little similarities there for sure.
Wow.
So, Kurt, want to get into the NFL draft a little bit, or do you guys want to ask some questions to Paul about the marathons and stuff?
Yeah, we could talk a little draft with Paul, if that's fine.
All right.
Perfect.
Why don't we start with winners and losers of the draft?
Okay.
I'll go to Paul first. Give me a winner. Like, who do you think came out on top as a winner in this year's draft?
Well, besides the Giants, and I'll give all kudos to the Jets also. I think they did a fabulous job to try and get support for Zach Wilson. Obviously, I think this was the best draft the Giants have had probably since 2007, when we went to the Super Bowl and every rookie helped and participated in that draft. I think the value of every player they took was amazing. Obviously, if I can say, we got a little by two favorite teams in the NFC East. But being said, I think Dave, Trader Dave, or Dealing Dave, whatever you want to call him now, did a great job. And for him to be able to come back and get that trade with the Bears was amazing, was fabulous. And to still wind up getting Tony in the first round. Obviously, we wanted to get Devonta Smith. We didn't, but this is a great, if that was 1A, this is a great 1B. And, the Giants had said they wanted to get weapons for Daniel, and you couldn't probably get a better, what do they call them, a joystick, a human joystick. And I think the fact that Urban Meyer wanted him and would have drafted him at 25 said everything that was good about why we took him. So the draft, the value was amazing. To answer the coach's question, I'll be honest, was on the Slater train. I wanted the O-lineman. I thought that was our weakest part of the Giants. So for me, if we could have got Slater, that would have been a great pickup as far as I was concerned. But the fact that we were getting Ojulari in the second round, dropping down again with a great trade by Dave, was fabulous. Obviously he was considered a first round pick. Even people were talking about going into having him as the 11th pick. So to get him at 50 was amazing. Yep. And the other picks, Robinson, and as the cornerback, he was supposed to be possibly even first round pick, much less second. So to get him at third in the third round, and on and on. I think Smith can add a lot. He's probably a little more of a project, but the value that they got in him in the fourth round is also fabulous. So overall, I think it was an amazing draft. Add that to the free agent haul that they got. It's going to be, I think, it has to be a much improved Giants team starting next year.
Absolutely.
Kenny, real quick, we got a comment from our good friend Rich Atwood saying, "Hey guys, what's up? Sorry I wasn't able to be with you guys on draft night. I was busy with things, but I saw what happened. It was a good draft." So thank you, Rich, for joining us.
I'll just add one thing, Paul, and then I'll go to Sis. On draft night, we did a draft special. We analyzing each pick. We just was, having some of our audience members on with us. And when the Giants traded back, I said I would be happy with Ojulari at that pick in 20, and to get him in the second round, I was ecstatic. Like I was on. Kurt knows I wanted this guy. I watched him in the game against Cincinnati in the bowl game, and when they lost their lineman, he was just blowing by the guy every play and was causing havoc in the backfield every play. So I think we got a good edge rusher there. And Tony, anybody that they compare to Tyreek Hill, I'll take that any day as a comparison. So we'll see what we get in him for sure.
Yeah.
Sis, I know we were high on Devontae Smith. As you know, Sis is a Bama fan. And Devontae Smith, little fun fact, one of our listeners is actually cousins with him, and his uncle also joins us as well, Devontae Smith's uncle. And little fun fact, he really thought that they were coming, the family thought it was going to be Miami or the Giants. So we were close to getting Devontae Smith. And it broke Sis apart because we think he's going to be really good in the NFL. But Sis, what do you want to add on anything to the Giants draft, or winner loser? Anybody else? Who do you think?
No, I want to ask Paul with these marathons, because I never really spoke to a person that ran in the marathons. How do you train for a 26-mile marathon?
Well, you start off by running shorter races, 5 miles, 5K, 10K, and you just build up the distance. And I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says, oh, I'm going to run a marathon. If they do, they're crazy. But the fact is that if you start at shorter distances, and if at some point you decide you're going to run a marathon, they do what's called doing long runs. So like anything else in life, you build up along the way. And generally it's like 4 or 5 months where you should be training for the most part. And you build up where every week you add miles to your long run. So if you start at 5 or 6 miles, then the next week you might do 7 or 8, and on and on until you get up. Generally, you do the longest run you would normally do is about 20, 22 miles before the actual marathon.
Okay, so you never actually run the whole 26 miles, 22, 21, like that. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of people who will do a long training run and run a complete marathon. I've spoken to enough people where if you can do 22, 23, your adrenaline kicks in after that. And 99.9% of the time, you're going to run and complete the race at that point, unless you have some type of race injury.
How long does it take you to recover after running in a race like that?
It depends. There have been marathons where I felt great the next day. There are other marathons. One I remember on Long Island I did, and it literally took me 2 or 3 weeks to recuperate. And I'll be honest, I didn't train as well as I should have, and I didn't respect the distance, and it cost me, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks before I was able to recover.
Did you ever get to like the 19th or 20th mile and in your mind saying, how am I going to do this last 6 miles? Does that?
Absolutely. They always, they say, you hit the wall, and believe me, you run New York City, the 19th mile, 20th mile is in the Bronx. And if you ever saw where you run in the Bronx, you're going to run the hell out of there pretty fast. So you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to do it. And you get that mind over matter. I always say that no matter how physically fit you are to run a marathon, most of it is up here in your head. It takes the mental approach. And, it's like any other sport. If you have that mental approach, the idea that you're going to do it and complete it. I'll be honest, there was one 5-mile race I ran years ago in Central Park, and I knew I injured my knee, and I wound up needing arthroscopic surgery. And most people probably would have said, all right, I'm going to go back and not finish the race. And I wound up finishing the race. So you get that mental approach and say, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to finish what I started.
Oh, you definitely have an angel on your shoulder, my friend. And thank you for answering my questions. God bless you. Yep.
My pleasure.
No, it's great. Come on. We do this small sports show each week, and we talk baseball, football, basketball. To talk about marathon is great. And, again, like just said, Paul, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
If I can add one more thing, I used to say to my wife that to finish the marathon once you cross the finish line, it's better than sex. So I'll leave you with that.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Guys, by the way, our good friend Mark Calderio. Good evening, gentlemen. How's everyone doing? I hope, Mark, everything's good with you.
Hey, Mark. Mark's another Giant fan with us, Paul.
Go Giants.
They're coming out in the woodwork now.
I'm outnumbered tonight, guys.
Right.
Where's my Denver guys tonight?
It's about time.
Kurt, you gotta want to add a winner to the draft real quick.
You know who I'm gonna add is the hometown team, the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're taking that model of, people got to remember, they were very close to knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City last year in that AFC divisional round. And they did it defensively. They kind of, held Mahomes down. And what did they do? Right out of the gate, a corner, Gary Newsom. Then in the second round, got a steal. And I know he slid a little because I know he had they're saying there was a little heart issue. But JOK from Notre Dame, that coverage linebacker safety hybrid who was supposedly a top 12 to 15 pick, slid to the second round. So Cleveland got him. And then the third round pick is somebody that is a little special to me, Paul, because I'm a big time Auburn football fan. And you're talking about running and stuff like that, and they got a speedster in Anthony Schwartz. This kid is, I want to say he tried out, or he was close to making the Olympic team, and he's just a burner. And I think in the Cleveland situation now with Baker, I think he's going to be the home run over the top, blow the top off. So I think they had a very good draft, and Cleveland's a team that, Baker making the improvements, they're not going to be a joke. Rich is saying there also is rumors saying about Aaron Rodgers maybe going to the Broncos or being host of Jeopardy. Paul, music to my ears. Please make this happen, Paul. Aaron Rodgers, bring him to my Denver Broncos. So Rich is saying that. Let's go. Let's go. I know Henry's not on yet, Kenny, but Henry's all in on that too.
Yep. I'm going to add a winner real quick, and then I'll ask Paul for his loser. I'm going to say your Broncos won because now you got a shot at Aaron Rodgers. You didn't pick the quarterback, so now you have a shot at Aaron Rodgers. Teddy Bridgewater, in my opinion, I think is better than Drew Lock. So you got competition there, what you wanted for Drew Lock in the offseason. But draft, you got Patrick Surtain, arguably number one corner, building your defense. And then who'd you come with in the second round? The North Carolina running back.
Yep.
You needed a running back. And then you got the Division II prospect, was that Quinn Miners?
Yep, the lineman plays low center guard.
So you don't know what you're going to get from him, but he could be the number one offensive tackle, or he could be a complete bust. So,
and the sleeper, Kenny, is that next pick, the kid Browning out of Ohio State, who's a cover linebacker. And I wanted Parsons that went to Dallas, but Browning is that kind of linebacker where he could rush the passer, cover. So watch him. He's going to play a lot this year for Fangio. I'm
going to say you're a winner because you got that shot at Aaron Rodgers. And you didn't jump the gun for some of these quarterbacks that I think Paul could be a bust in this year's draft. So let me come back to you, Paul. You got a loser in this draft? Like who didn't?
It's funny watching the draft many years as I have. This was one draft that almost every team did very well, but in looking at it, I'm gonna say the Saints. And I'll give you a couple of reasons, and then I'll give you a prediction that'll shock you. Only because I think they reached in the first round to take this kid Peyton Turner, who's a defensive end that wasn't really rated that highly, and they took him in the first round. So from that perspective, I think it was sort of a reach. But I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. And in the fourth round, they took a kid who I really loved. I watched him for 3 years, Ian Book, quarterback in Notre Dame. No, he's undersized. It was a little higher than I think he was supposed to go. But if there's one team, one coach that could turn him into a possible player, it's Sean Payton. And let's face it, they had a pretty fair quarterback there for 15 years who wasn't exactly the second coming of Trevor Lawrence in terms of height. So the way the Saints run their offense, a kid like Ian Book could possibly fit in. And what I'm going to say is that it would not shock me next year if this kid, my prediction, I'm going to go out on a limb, that this kid is the starting quarterback for the Saints.
I like it.
I like it. I like it, Paul.
I like, yeah. Sis, how about a loser? You have any in your head?
Out of all the teams, I kind of agree with Paul. I think right across the board, not really. Every team did pretty well in this draft. This was a very, very unusual draft in the last 5-6 years. But no, I don't really see anybody that was a loser in this draft.
It was a good draft for the most part. Kurt, do you have any?
Mark, by the way, Mark is saying Las Vegas is getting Rodgers. Come on, Mark. Be nice to me. Be nice to me. But
that would be his worst nightmare.
It would be Mark. You know who I'm going to go with, Kenny? And I just think, and again, Paul, this is not to knock the team. I am not a fan of the player. And there was a lot of rumors that my Broncos were going to take him. And thankfully, we did not. And that is the Bears and Justin Fields. Not only that they took him at 11, they gave up a high, which is going to be, I think, a high number 1 pick for your Giants next year. And that could really backfire. You know, do I trust Nagy and Pace in Chicago with him? Because they're going to have to run his offense. You know, I'm a firm believer in, you know, we always use the word like the gadget. And, you know, he's not going to be able to be there in a pocket passer right away. So I just think that was very high for him. I'm so happy we passed on him. And again, it costs them. It's going to probably cost them a top 15, at least maybe a top 10 pick next year. They better hope that, you know, is he going to play from day one? That's the question. You know, you guys they signed Andy Dalton, but you know, these guys, their jobs are on the line. So, you know, if Fields comes in, are they going to commit to him and make sure he could run that offense? So I would just say, but again, like Sis said, and Kenny, you guys too, a lot of people did well. You know, I think a lot of people did well, but I would just say Chicago. That was just too risky to not only pick him up there, but, you know, have to move up and give up a 1 next year for that.
And guys, Fields has the double curse. He's got the Chicago quarterback curse. When was the last time we talked about the Broncos, but when was the last great Bears quarterback? And he's got the Ohio State quarterback curse. So he's got 2 curses to overcome. So I hope, right, Kurt? I know Paul agrees. And Sis, we want a top 10 pick. That'd be great. I want to give you guys a loser because of their lack of draft picks, and that's the Texans. They traded J.J. Watt. They were going to clean house and build a team up from scratch. And what happens to Deshaun Watson turmoil? And they had no picks until the 3rd round, and they're bottom teams. So they are in a complete. That's a team that's in a complete mess, and that would be my short loser. But other than that, you know, overall, I think it was a great draft. I don't think there was too many losers. I think you guys hit on the button. Maybe you could say the Raiders stretched for their tackle, but if he turns out to be good, they're not a loser. So we'll see. Anybody from Alabama, right, Sis? They got potential to be stud. They breed thoroughbreds over there.
They got third stringers that would be starting in any Division I school in the country. I mean, and again, that's because you guys know I'm a diehard Alabama fan. They're loaded, man. And now this new rule coming in where you can transfer and you don't have to sit out. Oh, who's not going to want to go there?
Yep.
Kenny, real quick. Rich has a loser. He says, I also have a loser. I'm going to pick the Miami Dolphins because I think what they made the mistake was letting Fitzgerald to be their quarterback. I think they should have looked at it more on the speed. So.
Okay. Guys, you don't mind? I know Paul had a great story to share about the Giants. I think Sis would like it. And But I had a question, Paul, first before you tell the story. One interesting fact: you were at the Super Bowl, the Giants' undefeated season, and you said it was the greatest game that you've ever seen. And but I have a question for you, since you were at that game. What was the better catch? Was it David Tyree in the Super Bowl, or the finger catch by Odell Beckham?
Oh, without question, it's David Tyree. Because it's not even just the catch; it was the whole play. The way Eli escaped could have been a sack. That was disastrous, obviously. But then to throw it down the middle of the field, and Tyree with Rodney Harrison all over his back to make the catch, hold it on to his helmet, and come up with I think it's they called it the greatest play in Super Bowl history. So as great as Odell Beckham's catch was, it was a regular season game. I think they even lost that game to the Cowboys. The catch that led to the Giants Super Bowl win was without a doubt. The ironic thing was, I'll tell you this, where I was sitting was on the Giants side of the field in that same end zone that Plaxico caught the touchdown. But the weird thing was we couldn't see when Tyree caught the pass, that he held it to his helmet. It wasn't until we got back to the hotel after the game that they were showing all the highlights that we realized what had happened, because they didn't show highlights on the screen in the stadium. So we realized how great and significant it was once we got back to the hotel.
Wow.
Kenny, real quick, we got a hello, a hey gang, what I missed from our great friend Jerry Murr out from Colorado. What'd you miss? We missed a lot of Aaron Rodgers, hopefully going to our Broncos, Jerry talk. But Jerry's joining us. Thank you, Jerry, for joining. And again, I joined these guys last week, and it was awesome. We were talking on their show, we're talking about the Broncos, and they had an awesome Broncos show. The coverage was fantastic, and listen, it's something I'm going to be on again with those guys, and I hope we're all doing a show soon, Jerry, with some breaking news that we got a new quarterback, number 12 soon. So that's what we missed. But we're talking a little Giants right now, Jerry. I'm letting these guys talk some Giants tonight.
But
Last week.
he's making us talk.
You're
Giants.
outnumbered.
He's throwing Denver in.
So yeah, no, and then Paul, if you don't mind sharing a story with us, you actually are personally know John Mara, the owner of one of the owners of the Giants, and if you don't mind sharing that story with us, it'd be great.
Yeah, yes, I do. I've known John for about 40 years. I actually worked with John literally every single day. I was hired out of college by a law firm by the name of Shea and Gould. Shea, of course, was William A. Shea, who Shea Stadium was named after. And I got to know him actually personally. Very nice man. But I was there about a year, and I worked in the labor department. And there were rumors that they were hiring another attorney to come in. And sure enough, it was the winter right after we drafted LT and we beat the Eagles in the playoffs for the first time. We got to the playoffs, I think it was 18 years after that whole stretch of terrible football. And John came in, and as I said, I worked with him literally every single day and have continued to have a personal relationship with him for all these years. After the Super Bowl, when they beat the Patriots, I sent him a congratulatory letter saying that I was there and I was ecstatic and congratulations. He sent another letter back to me. I've also sent him other correspondence. So we've continued to know one another. I will tell you and all our fans out there, he's a great guy. I know many fans are frustrated the last few years about losing, but I can tell you without hesitation, this guy wants to win. He wants to win sometimes more than our fans and us want to win. But he wants to do everything that we can to bring a winner back to the Giants and the Giant fans. Believe me, he does. So I know he gets a bad rap the same way his father did for many years. But he's a great guy, and I'm very happy to say that I know him for as many years as I do.
That's awesome.
That's a
awesome,
great
Paul.
story. And
Thanks
you know
for
what?
sharing.
You know what, Paul? A lot of things you hear about the Giants, and it's kind of the same thing with the Steelers. And going back when you're saying with the Maras and the Tishes, and you got to give them credit because they always seem to, like they say, they do it the right way. And it's a great run franchise. You never really hear. I mean, wins and losses, you're going to hear about that from any fan base when you're not winning. But they're saying as a franchise, how they do things, doing stuff the right way. They always say it's the Giants and the Steelers that are the franchise that do it, that are the two that stand out. So when a lot of people say that, it's got to be a good impression on ownership and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but it's a lot of things that I've heard about. Like I said, the Giants, Steelers, the way they do things, it's the right way.
I think that's a great statement because there's so many players that leave the Giants, and what's the expression? Once a Giant, always a Giant, and they always feel that they can always come back to the New York Giant organization, and they know how they've been treated, and compared to maybe some of the other organizations in the NFL. So I think you're absolutely right. Obviously, there's a lot of very incestuous relationships between the Steelers and the Giants with marriages and things like that. But nevertheless, I think if you look at the history of the NFL, the Steelers and the Giants are right up there with, obviously the Packers and Bears and those types of teams.
Kenny, real quick, Jerry's asking, good deal. Do you have a tackle for us? We'll get into that later. Our offensive tackle, tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. Our right tackle. He got $17 million to play. You ready for this, sis? I want to say it was 52 snaps in 3 years. 52 snaps for $17 million. So that's Jerry again, and please check him out on the Rocky Mountain Thunder podcast and the Rocky Mountain Sports Report. But Paul, there's one thing. Kenny did a great job getting you as an awesome guest tonight. But there's one thing he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me you're a Knicks fan. Is that true?
I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, since probably 1967. So I've been around. I saw their 2 championships. It's been too damn long.
Hell yeah. Me and Kenny have never seen one, and that's one thing I want to see in my sports life as long as I'm here. I want to witness one.
Let me say this. I heard you talking about Aaron Rodgers before I came on, and if I can sort of put my 2 cents into it, if it's okay.
Of course.
I initially, when I heard he might not want to go back to Green Bay, I said, no, we're fully all in on DJ and let's go forward. But then I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm 66 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I want to see another championship in my life here. And I'll tell you, I live down in Florida. I worked with a longtime Bucks fan, okay? And I have this text back in before this past season. He texted me and said, I don't want that cheater. I don't want Brady. He's not going to be on my – forget it. I don't want that guy. I'm never having quarterbacking. Well, you know what? After February 3rd or 4th or whatever date it was, and he was holding up the Super Bowl trophy, there was none of that. I'm so glad that they wound up winning the championship. So what I'm saying is, you know what? If somehow they could get Aaron Rodgers for another 3 years, 4 years, I mean, Brady wants to wait until he's 45. You know what? Rodgers is 37. I'll take him.
You have to.
And then Paul, the money, Dak Prescott's making $40 million, Mahomes is making $50 million. Rodgers 25 million, 24 million. It's a no-brainer. And I was on some of our Giant pages, and I'm watching, reading all the comments. No way, I don't want him. No way. He makes you an instant Super Bowl. He makes the Giants an instant, not only NFC champion winner, favorite. He makes them a Super Bowl contender. Just like I was watching a show, they said Washington, if Washington was to get them, they're the favorites to win the NFC. Well, the Giants would be the favorites to win the NFC as well, or right up there with the best of them. If we got
Exactly. And that's why I use the Brady example. I mean, being down here in Florida, I've watched the Bucs the last few years. Obviously not rooting for them, but watching them. But Brady just changed the whole landscape, the whole environment of what they thought they were as a franchise. He just completely changed. They went from a possible contender with Winston to the Super Bowl favorite, and obviously they.
Well, I got one more thing, then unfortunately we have to go tonight.
Kenny, I got one more thing for him too. When you're done, Kenny.
Well, no, mine be last because mine's the prediction on the Giants.
Okay, I got one question, Paul, and again, you're a Knicks fan, and I asked this to my wife. We call her Jenny Hoops because she's a big basketball fan and a big Knicks fan. So I asked her this yesterday, and I said, okay, you could have this. There's two scenarios where I think, since I've been a diehard Knicks fan, and Kenny can attest because we're probably watching both of these games together. If you could go back and have one of these two scenarios again, scenario one is 1993. It's 2-2. You're at home, game 5 in Madison Square Garden. You're playing the Bulls with Jordan and Pippen and all that, but you've won something like 26 or 28 home games in a row. And your scenarios, you can get back to the scenario of where it's 2-2, but you have games 5 and 7 in the Garden. Or scenario 2 is 1994, game 7, 3-3, but in Houston. I told her I would rather take the 93, 2-2. Give me my chances. I will beat the Bulls 2 out of 3 because I'm home twice in the Garden, as opposed to winning a game 7 again in Houston. What scenario would you take again?
That's a great question. I probably would also agree with you and go with that scenario. The Garden crowds those years were unbelievable, and it fueled the Knicks when they played at home. So I think using the energy of the Garden, and if they could have played 2 games there, 5 and 7, I think I agree with you. Yeah, without question.
And just to see the Bulls and Knicks again from that year.
Oh, God.
You know, I wish we had a time machine and we could all go at the Garden and watch that game. My last question, Paul, a way too early Giants prediction on this year. You know, we're playing 17 games this year. Do you think we got the division? Do you think we'll be in contention? What are your final, overall way too early prediction?
I don't want to sound like Captain Obvious, but I think there's 2 things. Obviously, Daniel Jones has to improve, and I think he will. I mean, it would be almost impossible, given what the Giants have presented, to help him not to improve, short of having an injury. The second thing is, obviously, the offensive line can't be offensive. It's got to improve. They have to, the rookies have to step up. They have to gel. They have to be cohesive. And I think they're going to be coached up where they possibly weren't last year after the whole Colombo thing. So I think if the offensive line, they show some faith in him by not taking anybody in the draft, and DJ takes that next step up, I think they will improve. I don't know if I want to make a prediction in terms of You know, they're going to win the division, but I will say that they should be very, very competitive in this division. You know, gone are the days at this point with the Eagles. You know, they were losing every two games every year for how many years to them? That should not happen. I mean, Jalen Hurts, offenses. I know he's one of your guys, but let's face it. What has he proven? He played 3 or 4 games last year. All right. So he's, in my opinion, an unproven quarterback. Dallas, their defense is horrible. They drafted a lot of people. Hey, God bless them. They can fit them all in, and they can play cohesively. And the Redskins, I'll tell you, the Redskins may be our biggest competitor. The defense is amazing. That kid that they drafted in the first round, the linebacker Davis, is going to be excellent for them. And Fitzpatrick, you know, hey, they call him Fitzmagic. There are days he can be amazing, and other days he can look like the second coming of Jameis Winston. So they're going to be competitive. But if we can show improvement, I think, and I know everyone keeps saying Daniel Jones, it's a make or break. I'll go back to what we were talking about with the Giants before. I wrote down something. I don't think it's going to be a make or break season for Daniel Jones. If they don't get to the playoffs, if he shows enough improvement, maybe they win 8-9 games, maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't. But I think if they show enough improvement, he'll be there for next year. Obviously, you know, making a trade for Aaron Rodgers or doing something crazy. So that's my prediction.
Thanks, Paul.
Kenny, real quick, couple comments while Paul's on. Jimmy Eiserman is saying, "What's up, guys?" Hello, Jimmy. He's also saying the line will take a big step this year, and Daniel Jones has to improve his pocket awareness. Big Dog 1470, our good friend, is saying Saquon Barkley needs to stay healthy. And our friend Jerry Murr is saying, it's a question, and Paul, how would you answer this? What is the latest on Saquon's health?
Well, what I've heard and read, he's supposed to be healthy, getting him, improving himself to the extent that he might be ready for opening season. I'm sure they will take it very easy with him during preseason OTAs. You know, listen, regardless of everything they've added from a offensive standpoint, he's the guy that is going to make or break this offense. Not so much that they're going to run the ball, but the defenses have to be aware that with him in the game, they can't play 7-8 in the box. They're not going to be able to do that with the offensive personnel we have now. So if that's the case, the offense is going to be that much better if he's healthy.
Well, speaking for Kurt and Sis and myself, definitely want to thank you for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you and hear your stories and get to know a little bit about you. I know, again, speaking for the guys, we'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to come on. We know you're a Knicks fan. We got playoffs starting in a couple weeks. Whenever you want to join us for Knicks, and of course Giants, because Sis and I, we got Kurt outnumbered, but sometimes he tries to overtake us with the Giants talk. So please, anytime you want to come on, it's been truly a pleasure having you on tonight. Can't thank you enough for joining.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. It's been so much fun. I love talking football, Giants, sports in general, and the fact that you invited me again, I will definitely take you up on that. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear that you're a 19-time marathon finisher. Can't wait.
That's it.
Well, we'll talk about that another time.
There you go.
Have a great night, Paul, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
So much. Have a great night. Thank you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Kenny, Coach Breslin saying, great job, Paul. Jerry saying Ron Rivera is a great coach. Our good friend Henry Zimenoff, there he is, saying, Kenny, answer this one real quick. What do you think the Broncos could have done better in the draft to be in prime playoff position? Would you have wanted, I'm going to take it from your guys' aspect, not mine, you and Sis. Would you think they could have done something different?
I think the only thing I would have done different, by the way, again, I want to thank Paul for coming on.
Paul was awesome. Paul was awesome.
Love
Thank
to
you
have
so
him.
much,
Love
Paul.
to talk some Knicks with Paul.
Yes.
And Giants again in the future. The only thing I would have done different, Kurt, is, and you don't know because you don't know what was in the draft room. Did any of these teams, meaning the Bears, Washington, did anybody call Denver? And you could have gotten more draft picks and maybe a first-round pick next year as well. That might be the only thing. I think you got a stud corner. You know what? Sometimes you go with the best available. If Parsons wasn't their guy, don't go with Parsons. Mm-hmm. You know what? They got another offensive weapon in the second round. And I think this kid is going to be as good or not better than ETN. I think the Steelers got their guy. So I think Harris has got the best potential, perfect fit for Pittsburgh, right, sis? Najee Harris, perfect fit for Pittsburgh. And I think the kid from North Carolina is going to be perfect fit for Denver. So I think you did right. Henry, to answer your question, I think you did all right in the draft. I don't think I would have done much different. Maybe trade back, but then you lose Surtain.
Right. What about you, Sis? I know Surtain's big on your list, Sis, right?
If you traded back, we'd have Devontae Smith right now. So darn you, Broncos.
You guys lucked out. You got the best corner in the college football.
And I look at it like this. Some people
look
at it this way, Sis. I look at it this way, and I told Kurt this, Sis. And I think I told you as well. I think we had a conversation. J.C. Horn, yes, he's got to face Alabama, but only one game. Patrick Surtain has got to play against these guys at every practice. He's got to go up against the Jalen Waddles, the Devontae Smiths. And it's practice, but you're up against them every game. And then Surtain's also got to play, then he's got the other guys. But, I'm not taking anything away from J.C. Horn, but for those who say Surtain, that boggles my mind, Sis, with some of these people. I think they're just Alabama haters when they say Surtain's going to be a bust.
You have that type of competition, that's what's going to make you a great player.
Yep.
And you nailed it. He had to go against those guys every day in practice. So guess what? Kurt's team lucked out. They got Surtain, and I'm happy for him.
Coach Breslin saying, as you can see, corners are a very important part of the draft. Corners and D linemen on D. If you want to play man, you need good corners. I know we had that discussion on X and O segment, and I had discussed that you need good corners.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Kenny, the biggest thing, real quick, the biggest thing is, and I know I spoke on Jerry and Matt's and Dave's show, on that show with the Rocky Mountain Sports Report show. I'm so glad they didn't reach for a quarterback, because if they would have took Fields, right, it would have been all over. No more Aaron Rodgers. That's their quarterback, whatever. No, now you're in every discussion. Deshaun Watson's available. We like Drew Lock, but we're open to him. Aaron Rodgers, we're still able to go and say we're open for him. So I'm just glad they didn't do that. If you love the quarterback, and I mean love the quarterback, then you go get him. If you don't love him, don't go get him and reach. Hey, Drew Lock this year, again, if we don't get Rodgers, it's Drew Lock. Give him that 1 year. See if he's really the man. If he's not, move on. You got the draft next year, and you're going to have a lot of guys available. If Aaron Rodgers is available and Green Bay wants to say, hey, let's make a deal, boom, go all in. You got one of maybe the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Great call, not reaching for a quarterback.
All right, so I think that being said, I think it's time for everyone's favorite time of the night. Our very own Mr. Siciliano's Rapid Fire with Sis. And we don't know where this goes every week, so this puts us on our toes. And I think he's got his pen ready, so he's ready to roll.
By the way, before And Sis's background, Sis, I got the background and the green screen, which I love, with the fire. You're over me. With the rapid fire, with the flames, with the flexing, because we know you're all jacked. You're flexing. So let's go, baby.
There it is.
All right, so you boys
Ready
are
for your rapid fire, my friend.
ready. We're going to start with Kurt, and then I'll go to Kenny. What team got the biggest steal in the draft?
Biggest steal in the draft.
Steal. Yep. Your opinion.
Cowboys with Parsons.
Okay, Kenny.
Oh, by far, the Eagles and our guy Devontae Smith.
Thank you very much. I'll go to Kenny on this one
I'm
first.
sorry, Sis, real quick. Did you read Coach Breslin's comment, Kurt? I missed that.
Yes, about
And
the
then-
defensive.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Sis. Yep, we're good.
We'll go to Kenny first with this. Is
Wait a minute.
yes or
Hold
no
on,
answer?
Kenny. Sis, I got a comment. I got a text comment from one of my good friends, Mr. Elsmore. He said, you guys may have lost 1 million viewers tonight since Caitlyn Jenner's on Hannity tonight. So if we did lose anybody, of course, to Hannity, I hope that's not true, but I hope we get him back next week. Go ahead, Sis.
Kenny, yes or no? Is Devontae Smith happy being a Philadelphia Eagle?
100% no.
Kurt?
Happy about being in the NFL, but not with the Eagles.
Okay. Kurt?
I'm gonna say yes because I think he's going to. Listen. When you're in Philly and you're the man in Philly, I think they're gonna love him there. I'm gonna say yes.
We'll go to Kurt with the next question. Bear Bryant didn't like the mascot, Big Al. True or false?
False.
Kenny?
Let's say true.
You're right. He didn't like him. We'll go to Kurt next. I don't like him either. What team, Kenny, passed out cigars after a football game? Now we're going to keep score between you and Kurt. We got to do that too tonight.
By the way, Paul Mulvaney, we're gonna have a little special coming on the next couple of days on K&K, is saying Giants got screwed. Should have had Devontae.
Okay, Kenny?
I think I'm wrong on this, but I'm going to still say it. Georgia?
Kurt.
LSU.
Okay, so we won't count that for either one of you. It was Tennessee.
It was SEC.
I thought it was Burrow.
No, it was Tennessee. Go to Kurt first. Only other Bama coach to beat Notre Dame. Now you and Kenny are going to be on the clock with this, getting points.
Only quarterback to beat Notre.
No. Only Bama coach to beat Notre Dame. The only other Bama coach that ever beat Notre Dame.
Besides Saban.
It's not Bear. I was going to say it's not Bear Bryant.
Was it the guy from? I can't think.
Can I go first? If
Yeah,
I got
go
the
ahead.
guess.
Go ahead.
Gene Stallings.
Minus for Kenny.
I'm
Kurt.
gonna go. Who was the Stanford coach that was the Notre Dame coach? Kenny.
I don't know. You're asking me. I ain't gonna help you out. He's trying to get me.
I don't know. I don't have a guess.
Okay, so you get a minus two. Here
was
we go. Next question.
Who was it?
Ray Perkins.
I wouldn't have got that one. Kenny, you should have got that.
Okay.
The Giant guy.
Old Giant coach.
Yeah.
We'll go to Kurt with this one, then Kenny, then I'll give you the answer. Dick Van Dyke played Mary Popkins. True or false?
False.
Kenny? Kenny's got one up on Kurt. Kurt's got two minuses. Here we go. We'll go to Kurt first. Coca-Cola's always been brown in color. True or false?
False.
Kenny?
That's false.
Both got a minus. It's true. Kenny, we'll go to you first. Plastic plants are made of plastic. True or false? It's tricky. Plastic plants are made of plastic.
True.
Okay. Kurt?
False.
Man, Kurt, he's burying you tonight. It's true.
You can't give me a Bronco question?
I got a Bronco question right here. Is the Olive Garden a French restaurant, Kurt? Yes or no?
No.
Kenny?
Say no.
It's an Italian restaurant.
You both get a plus. Very good.
Come on.
Here we
I
go.
got a Bronco question right here.
Yeah.
This rest.
Pokemon is practically owned by Sega. True or false?
False.
Pokemon.
False.
Kurt said false. Kenny, what do you say?
I'll go with Kurt Falks on this one.
You both got a plus there. Okay. Here we go.
Paul
Is
saying
sour
Bronco
cream-
Garden.
Kenny, is sour cream the only food that doesn't spoil? Yes or no?
No.
Sour cream. Is that the only food that doesn't spoil? Yes or no?
No.
Kurt,
No.
both got a plus. Disney made a movie. It was named Artise. Is that true or false? Disney. Kenny?
False.
Kurt?
False.
Both got a plus. Very good, boys. Kenny, Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoftware. True or false?
True.
Kurt?
True.
Both got a plus. London was the first city, Kenny, to build an underground railroad. True or false? London.
True.
Kurt?
False.
Plus for Kenny, minus for Mr. Valenti.
I'm done tonight.
Because I didn't do my homework in school.
You did it.
National League was established before the NFL. Before or after is the answer. National League Hockey was established before the NFL. Before or after?
I'm going to go after.
That's a minus. Well, I can't give Kurt anything because I gave you the
You
answer.
should have, because the NFL took place in what? With the Super Bowls and all that. So NHL was definitely before that.
Kurt, you get this answer right, I'll buy you a car. Was Alcatraz open before or after Folsom Prison? And who was the famous singer to sing at Folsom Prison?
Johnny Cash.
Oh, he's good. Now what's that? But wait a minute, that's correct. That's half of the question. Was it open before or after?
Was it open before or after?
Alcatraz opened before or after Folsom Prison?
After.
Yeah, you got lucky there.
He's gonna buy,
I
he
got
said
it.
Buy him a car, sis.
He's going to buy me a Matchbox.
Buy him a Matchbox car, sis. You didn't say what kind of car.
Kenny, the Volkswagen Beetle was released before the Volkswagen van. True or false?
True.
Kurt,
False.
minus for Kurt, plus for Kenny.
Paul said a new car, baby.
Moving along. Yeah, I got a Matchbox car upstairs with me. So. Number 22. Was Sears Tower, Kurt, built before the Empire State Building? Before or after the Sears Tower?
Who's first?
You are.
I'm going to
Kurt.
say the Sears
Sears?
Tower. Sears was, I'm going to go with Paul. Sears was after, so Empire State Building was first.
Kenny, I'm sorry.
Well, if Kurt's going with Paul, I'm going to go with Paul, so at least I don't lose a point to Kurt. So I'm going to go with Kurt said.
You guys can't even think on your own. You got to go with Paul because he's a genius.
No,
Tell
don't-
Paul to answer this question. Did IBM PC come out before Commander 64? Before or after? Kenny, you can think about
Say
it.
that again. Say that one again.
Did the IBM PC come out before
Or
after
Commodore 64.
Commodore 64?
Commodore 64 came out first.
I'll agree with Kurt.
Very good, boys. Plus each.
Coach Breslin saying, Sis, I think you should get a Matchbox Beetle car.
Kurt, Space Shuttle Columbia disaster occurred before or after the Space Shuttle Challenger? Which one happened first?
Well, the Challenger was the one with the Challenger was the one with she was a teacher, right? She was the teacher.
Yep.
We were young. I was young, so I was probably like 4th grade or something like that. I'm going to say that. All right, we're going to go. The Challenger, I'm going with Paul again. The Challenger was first. So, and then Columbia. So Challenger was before Columbia.
Challenger was definitely first. Challenger was definitely first. I was in 5th grade in class. We were watching the shuttle when it happened.
And it was after. You're both wrong.
Well, 3 of us are wrong because Paul's wrong too.
Yep. Yep. Here we go. What college was established first? Kurt, Yale or Harvard?
Yeah.
I'll go Harvard.
Yeah.
Kenny?
Harvard.
Kenny gets a plus. Kurt gets a minus. Kenny, All in the Family premiered before I Love Lucy. True or false?
What was the first show?
All in the Family, Archie Bunker, premiered before I Love Lucy. True or false?
False.
Kurt?
False.
Both get a plus. Kenny, the Suez Canal was built before the Erie Canal. Before or after?
Before.
Kurt?
I'll go before too.
You both got a minus. It was after.
Damn it, Kenny.
You're an honors student.
Where were you, history class, Kenny? Damn it. By the way, guys, this is not looking good. The Knicks are down 21-6 tonight.
We'll go to Kenny first. None of major airlines, okay, internationally of the United States, okay? Which one of the 4 is not? You got it?
I'm a little confused by the question.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to read it to you again. Not a major airline internationally, an international airline, is not part of the U.S. Here's the
Choices.
choices. Thank you. Continental Airline, United Airline, Delta Airline, U.S. Airway, or American Airway. Kenny?
U.S. Airway?
Kurt?
I'm going to go same with Kenny. U.S. Airway.
Both minus.
Paul, what's going on with these Knicks, Paul? Down
Paul,
17.
Okay, the last one.
Boston never crashed.
I'll total these up in a minute. This is just a yes or no answer. We'll go with King first. This is the last one of the night. Are you tired of Aaron Rodgers crying? Yes or no?
You asking me?
Yeah. The yes or no answer.
I'll say no, not yet.
Okay. Kurt?
Hell no. Keep crying. Get out
I
of
knew
Green Bay and get
I
him
knew
to Denver,
I knew
baby.
your
Let's
answer.
go. Do whatever
knew
you got to
your-
do. I don't care. Cry, whine, moan, whatever the hell you
your
got to
answer.
do to get out of there. Get here. Let's
I
go.
knew your answer before I read the question. You'll be crying when they don't get him.
Coach
Let me,
Breslin's saying, yes, if I am the Packers, I don't trade him.
Coach is tired of it with you, sis.
Well, like I said, Kurt will be crying when he doesn't go to Denver because he's going to stay in Green Bay. Let me add up the final tally for tonight.
Okay, and while we're doing that, Kurt, why don't we do a little? We've been on and off Bronco Mania, but why don't we do a different topic instead of Aaron Rodgers with Briggsy Bronco Mania tonight?
Okay.
Real quick, Kenny was the winner of the trivia tonight, 13-80, buried you.
Congratulations, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Hey, I took the beating tonight, but that's okay. I'll be back strong.
You got him last week.
I got him last week. Yeah. I'll come back strong, sis. That's okay.
I know you will. You know your stuff.
What is
I know
it?
that.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Is that how they say it?
Yeah.
There you go.
No, it's not a destination. It's a journey.
The same thing.
All right, sis. So thank you for the rapid fire as always.
Thank you, sis.
Great segment. You know, tonight you had us on our toes again. You had us starting thinking it was going to be all Alabama and NFL, and then the history lesson came out. I think that's what threw Kurt off. So got the advantage tonight.
There's enough Bronco Mania talk, so I wasn't using any of that tonight. Sorry,
Okay.
Kurt.
So let's do a quick Briggsy Bronco Mania, Kurt. I'm going to ask you a question. We'll do it as a topic. We'll have your thoughts on it. This just came off the top of my head right now. As I said, this isn't going to be. We're not talking any Aaron Rodgers during this segment. Briggsy Bronco Mania tonight. My question is going to be Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. They just released Driscoll. So it's obviously Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock are your quarterbacks right now. If you go into the season with those two quarterbacks, give me the pros and cons of having Teddy Bridgewater on the team.
All right. First off, here's the cons. When we say we're going to have an open competition, is that open competition 50-50? Who's going to make less mistakes? Is that what it's going to be? Because, listen, Drew Lock is still young. Teddy Bridgewater is a quote-unquote game manager. He's not going to make mistakes. You know, so the con of that is, looking at it like that, is Drew Lock going to make little mistakes? Yeah. Drew Lock's a little gunslinger, though. I want Drew Lock to be Drew Lock. He can't be careless. He has to be less careless than what he is, but he's still going to make mistakes. I don't want Teddy Bridgewater to have, you know, again, well, he didn't throw a pick in practice in the 7-on-7s, but, you know, he didn't throw a ball past 8 yards also. So, no, you know, if we can't get Aaron Rodgers, I want Drew Lock to be the quarterback and to finally figure out if Drew Lock is the guy or he's not the guy. That's what I want. Teddy Bridgewater is, hey, if he's injured, if he's having a bad game, hey, put the vet in, see what he can do, and now let this guy come in. David Slade, another guy from the Rocky Mountain Sports Report, Teddy will not push the ball down the field. Exactly. Okay? Exactly. I want, you know, what are we gonna do? Is he just gonna take care of the ball? And again, he's 19 for 26 for 130 yards. What happens when you get down by 10 points? What are we gonna do? I don't want it. I want either Aaron Rodgers or Drew Lock to be the quarterback of this team this year. I like Teddy as insurance. I like Teddy if Drew Lock's having a bad first half or third quarter, hey, switch it up. Get that vet in. He's got to push him. He's got to teach him. But if we're just going to go and say, okay, it's 50-50, first off, Drew Lock needs reps. Okay? He's going to need every rep he could possibly get. So let's not make this a 50-50 rep. You know, me personally, if Drew Lock looks like garbage in training camp and Teddy Bridgewater is flinging it down the field, which, again, I agree with Dave, he's not, then, okay, I'll change my mind. But otherwise, let Drew Lock be the quarterback of his team. Find out once and for all. I have a lot of confidence in Drew Lock. I do. Listen, Drew Lock's not Aaron Rodgers, and I want Aaron Rodgers over Drew Lock. But if I can't get Aaron Rodgers, I want Drew Lock.
Now, let me talk to you as devil's advocate, as a non-Bronco fan. And it's just like your take on it, too. Teddy Bridgewater, remember, he backed up Drew Brees when Drew Brees got hurt. We all know what the Saints offense looked like. You got all these weapons in Denver, so that's why I'm bringing this up. You had Michael Thomas, you had Kamara over there, Emmanuel Sanders. Teddy Bridgewater went undefeated with that Saints team. I think the Broncos defense is a little better than the Saints defense that year.
Okay.
On paper, at least. Okay. And I don't think the Denver offense is too far behind the Saints offense. You know, you got Melvin Gordon and a rookie running back now. You got two-headed, build a two-headed monster running back there. You got Jerry Jeudy, T.J. Hamler, two young receivers. Pair him up with Cortland Sutton, who's coming back off an injury this year, and a young tight end in Noah Fant. Drew Lock, you have a 2 to 3 game window, and I'm bringing Bridgewater in. I'm more sold on Bridgewater than Drew Lock.
Okay, but you just okay.
You said
So
he's a game manager. You said he's a game manager. I kind of want that game manager minus the Chiefs. I want a game manager. But he did it with the Saints, and the Saints defense was nowhere near as good as the Bronco defense.
different though when you come up when you're the backup and you come in, as opposed to okay, here's your show from day one. That Nick Foles is the prime example. Nick Foles is the starter, isn't Nick Foles? You need Nick Foles for a couple of weeks. He's the best probably we've seen in a long time. But when it's his show, he doesn't do it. I'm not again.
What do you think, sis?
Yeah,
Who would you rather have at quarterback? Drew Lock?
Before I go into that, because I kept score this time, between 10 and 25, Kenny, how many times did Kurt say he wanted Aaron Rodgers tonight? I kept score of this.
He said it at least 20.
Okay.
22.
Sis, answer this question from Robert Elsmore. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, who sells more jerseys? Aaron Rodgers Bronco jerseys or Trevor Lawrence Jaguars?
That's apples and oranges.
Well,
there's no doubt. I mean, it's a stupid question if you ask me.
Well, who's going to do it?
Well, who do you think's going to do it? I'll leave it at that. Let me get on to the pros and cons. They brought this kid in to push your boy, number one. That's the only reason why they brought him in. That's my opinion.
Okay, good.
And the con is there's not going to be quarterback competition. They're going to make it look like they're going with your boy to something else. This kid is nothing but you called it before. He's an insurance package. That's it. That's my opinion.
David Slave saying, how about them Knicks? 9 points with a minute left in the first. They're down 32-12 right now.
I think that you brought up the point before. They're going to give your boy, like they're going to give Jones the opportunity this year. And then if it doesn't work out for either one of them, good night, Irene.
Here's my last question to Kurt, sis, and I don't mean to bring A-Rod into the conversation.
Oh, no.
But we're going to make this short, sis. It's only going to be a 2-minute response from him to end the segment.
I get nauseous when I hear his name, but go ahead.
Who Broncos get Aaron Rodgers? Who's gone? Bridgewater or Locke?
I think Bridgewater, because I think Green Bay wants a veteran for Jordan Love.
I agree with Kurt 1,000%.
Okay.
But Kenny, let me ask you, I'm going to spin this on you right now. You've seen Teddy Bridgewater for a couple years now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Denver's defense is pretty damn good, right?
Yep.
Does Denver have a lot of pretty decent weapons on offense?
Yes.
Okay. So Kenny, and I'll ask Kenny and Sis, both of you, can the Broncos win a Super Bowl with Teddy Bridgewater?
No.
Kenny?
No.
Okay.
You don't have a quarter. There's no quarterback on your team that's
okay.
getting
But wait a minute. You've seen Teddy Bridgewater. Can you 100% know that Drew Lock can't? Teddy Bridgewater ain't gonna blow up this year. You know it. There's no way. You've seen the best he did was that Saint little 4 or 6 game run, right? You just said it before. But let me ask something. Do you know for a fact that Drew Lock can't be that next quarterback that pops?
Yes.
You do.
I have not seen anything in Drew Lock that shows me that he's going to be miraculously a superstar this year.
Can he be better?
You agree, sis?
Kurt, you got one shot at going to the Super Bowl, and I agree with you 1,000%. You get Aaron Rodgers, you got a great shot. You don't get Aaron Rodgers, you'll be lucky to make the playoffs.
Well, right, but my point though is he's still an unknown. So if you have to give me Bridgewater and you have to give me Locke, I want Locke. I want to truly see him and say, listen, now it's over. I got to move on from you. I don't want to go and win 9 games with Bridgewater because he didn't throw picks and we get into the postseason. I don't want to see that because he's not our quarterback of the future. So why am I going to waste a year again with him?
Good point.
Why? Then what do we do next year, Kenny? What do we do next year?
A great point.
We're back to square one. We're back to square one. See if Locke fails. But you know what? I want Drew Locke. I want Drew Locke.
It's the same thing with the Giants.
Exactly.
If Chicago wins 9 or 10 games, that number 1 pick now turns into a number 20.
Right.
So
you're in a division with the best quarterback in football. Rookie of the year last year, quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And a veteran in David Carr. And now you're in competition with the Raiders. I don't care what anybody says to get Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
The team that gets him, if it's one of you two, the other team is screwed.
Yeah, absolutely, they are. Yes.
So you got to go and get Aaron Rodgers. As for like we brought this up earlier, the Giants, they don't have to. We got Dak Prescott, Fitzpatrick, and Jalen Hurts as our quarterbacks in our division.
Right, but that's like saying,
we don't have to go get Aaron Rodgers.
Right, but I'm saying the same thing to Sis. Sis made a great point. Like, you could look at it the other way, and you could go and say, okay, the Giants could go out and get. I mean, let's be realistic. I know he retired, but just say Alex Smith. You signed Alex Smith, right? In a true competition, Alex Smith is probably going to win that competition. He's not going to turn it over. He's going to make the right play. He's not going to fumble. So, okay, but first off, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. You know what Alex Smith is. So you know you're not going to be in that upper echelon of quarterback. 2, for your future, what are you going to do? Play him again? You know, like, that's the thing. Like, these people with the, listen, push Drew Lock. You know, make Drew Lock. See, last year, and I said this, and it's the same thing with the Giants, you know, and me and Sis talk this all the time. We talk about this as a high school level, right? If a kid's not truly pushed, you know, we were all high school coaches. But if you go and say, hey, everyone's in competition, but that kid turns around and says, wait a minute, I'm the starter. He's going to push me? I mean, you know, is Drew Lock did Jeff Driscoll scare Drew Lock? You know, Teddy Bridgewater does scare him a little because if Drew Lock's just flinging it all over the field and he's throwing 3-4 picks, you know what? Yeah, you're going to be replaced and benched by Teddy Bridgewater, not Jeff Driscoll.
You just hit it on the button, Kurt. Says he just hit it on the button. And for all the Bronco fans listening out there, we had this argument before the draft, right? Garoppolo lost the Super Bowl for the 49ers. Garoppolo didn't get the 49ers to the Super Bowl. The defense got the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Correct? Did we not say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Drew Lock making mistakes and being, you're going to get maybe 1 or 2 interceptions from him a game, or would you rather have the Teddy Bridgewater who's not going to make mistakes and let your defense win games for you?
I want Drew Lock. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you why. Listen, our defense is good, and it should be a top 5-10 defense. But I'm also going to say is you drafted Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Williams, Gordon. You know what? I just don't want to be, scoring that. What Denver did in 2015, people like that's not going to happen. Like, that defense was just, and again, it was an aging Peyton Manning, and Kubiak was a little conservative, but that defense to hold, New England to 18 and 10 to Carolina, you can't ask, as good as our defense is, we can't ask them to hold Kansas City to 10 points. That's crazy.
Minus Kansas City. I want my defense out there You know,
Of course I want my
7,
defense.
8 minute drive. Have those 6 to 8 minute drives with your Bronco offense, and keep your defense fresh in Denver with that thin air. You can easily be undefeated this year at home. Easily,
Okay.
You should always have a winning record at home, and I don't see it in Drew Lock. I'm sorry.
Okay, but yeah, you know what? I will agree with you, but I want to see one more year. I want to see him one more year with the full go, with the with the training camp, with the weapons, with Cortland Sutton coming back, with the little better offensive line, with the running game. I want to see it. Again, I have no problem with first.
I will tell you this:
first 2-3 games, Kenny, he's doing bad. Okay, go to Bridgewater, but I want Lock first.
I will tell you this, Kurt, sis, if it's a close competition, it's Drew Lock's competition to lose. If it's close, it's Drew Lock's job. You got a 3 to 4 game window. If you're starting to underperform and not doing the job, you got a short leash. Bridgewater's coming in.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's it.
Kenny.
Drew Lock knows the offense. You got to look at it that way.
Yeah, a good point. Now,
Yeah.
and here's the last thing I'm going to say, though, sis. A couple comments real quick. Vinny Trencone saying, Kurt Valenti, stop crying. You got Drew Lock. Coach Breslin saying, listen, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. They have to play good D and put in a system to his strengths and see what happens. If not, draft a guy that fits the system. Sure, you can get Rodgers, of course. You would want to get him if you are the Broncos. See, here's the thing. And I mentioned this with the Colorado, with Jerry, Matt, and Dave. Pat Shurmur, Coach Breslin just said it. You got to put Drew Lock in a position to succeed, right? Sis, as a coach, that's your job. Bootlegs. He's a mobile quarterback, right? They always say, hey, strong arm, and you want a strong arm. He's got the strong arm, right? Hey, but you want to be mobile. He's pretty mobile, okay? Put him on the bootlegs, right? When he had Scangarella 2 years ago and they were running the little zone offense, the zone scheme with the bootlegs. Get him out there. And I mentioned this last week. I know, Kenny, you guys had Pat Shurmur, but where's the little, slip screen? Boom, get it to Jerry Jeudy, get it to KJ Hamler. A screen to Gordon. Now you start the game, you're 2 for 2 for 48 yards. You didn't even throw the ball down the field. Get in a rhythm. Everything's down the field, down the field, down the field. That's coaching, right, sis? That's coaching. Put him in.
You said it. Pat Shurmur.
Pat Shurmur, exactly. You got to it's not my offense and Drew Lock has to fit my offense. I got to make Drew Lock comfortable. That's what he should do. And I'm going to be honest. That's what I don't have confidence in. You guys had Pat Shurmur.
But I will tell you one thing about Pat Shurmur. He had 3 quarterbacks in Minnesota. Bradford, Bridgewater, and who was the third one he had there that year?
Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Bridgewater started that year out of those 3 before he had that tragic injury at practice. Bridgewater was his guy. And I said it when Shurmur came to the Giants. I said, Bridgewater's going to come to the Giants. We never had Bridgewater. I was shocked. I was like, Bridgewater, Keenum, why aren't we getting any of Shurmur's guys? Shurmur's got one of his guys now. We've got to keep that in mind.
Okay, but here's how I'm going to end Briggsy Bronco Mania, okay? And I'm going to mention Rodgers one more time, sis, and I want you to agree or disagree with me. And I think this is going to be the biggest advantage for us to get Aaron Rodgers, okay? Here's what I'm going to sell him. First off, I am not letting Pat Shurmur decide for me if Drew Lock is my future quarterback or not. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't have the confidence in him. But I'll tell you this with Aaron Rodgers. Okay? I'm not set in stone. I like Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator, but I'm not set in stone with him for a head coach. Same thing with Pat Shurmur. So you know what, Aaron? I'll tell you this. You want to come? You're going to run your offense. And I'll say this. I'm open to this. Hey, if we win a Super Bowl this year, those guys are coming back. But if they're not, sis, who do you want as your head coach? We're not married to Fangio. Those contracts are up. Who do you want? Who do you want?
No.
We'll go get you a coach. Lori, by the way, hey, Lori's saying hello. Hello, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Sis, what do you think about that, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean,
Again,
Get your coach, your offense, your coach. Let's go. Hey, listen, John Gruden ain't going anywhere. You're running Gruden's offense, and Gruden's your coach. In Denver, it's your offense. And, again, if we don't like Fangio and Shermer, what do you want? We'll go get it for you next year. Big advantage. People don't talk about it. Big advantage. Right? It's your show. That's what you want. Yeah. He wants input, right? He wants input in Green Bay. He's going to have input in Denver. Listen, I know George Payton. Elway is going to give him the... Listen, he'll... Just like it was with Manning. His offense, bring him in, your audibles. I know they say Adam Gase and McCoy. Listen, they weren't the offensive coordinators. Payton was the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Coach Breslin saying Gruden, not a fan at all. So, now that I'm fired up for tonight.
There you go.
No, that was good. Well, so let me just ask you this, Kenny. We'll get, week by week, we're going to ask this. Sis, right now, Aaron Rodgers is going to be where opening day?
Again, it's a tough question. Again, my gut is saying Green Bay.
Okay. And again, we could change it next week. Kenny, what about you? Opening day, Aaron Rodgers is where?
Then we could change our mind next week.
Of course, you could change your mind. Today, I'm saying.
Broncos.
Okay.
My reason is, they got the most to offer Green Bay. You can give them Surtain. Who the Raiders going to say we're going to give you? Leatherwood?
Right.
I
know.
We can give you Surtain. We can give you multiple number one picks, and we can give you, like I said, Surtain or in one of our receivers. We can give you KJ Hamler. You want KJ Hamler. Who are the Raiders giving up? They're not going to give up Darren Waller. They're not going to give up Henry Ruggs. Maybe they'll give up Ruggs, but they ain't giving up Darren Waller.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't see them giving up their 10. That's just me, though. No way. I don't see that. Maybe two number ones and a 2 and a 3, but Surtain? No. Sorry, I disagree with that.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I know it's fair. Just
it's talk. I understand that.
Yep. So we got a few minutes left, Kurt. What do you want to do? You want to do some NBA? I got Stump Kurt.
Let's do 2-3 minutes of NBA and then do a
Stump. We can do some NBA tomorrow. We didn't get.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do a Stump Kurt. That's fine.
Want to do a Stump Kurt, and then we'll
do NBA tomorrow with Carson.
NBA and Major League Baseball tomorrow.
Good.
For wits and wagers.
There's no NBA going on right now anyway because the Knicks are getting hammered. Just an FYI.
Sis, I got 2 questions for Kurt. They're not long ones. They're short ones.
Okay.
First one's a 2-part question for you, Kurt. So the Knicks the other day clinched their first winning season. I want to know the last winning season by the Knicks. That's the first part to the question. And then I want to know the wins within 3 games that they had that year.
Okay, I'm going to say 2013.
Very good.
54.
I think you're right. I'm just going to look it up. I think it was 52. You want to look that up real quick? I forgot to write that down. That's my fault.
Okay.
I think you may be right.
Let's check it out. Paul said 2013. He said 53.
Okay, so you're right there. So you got both of those. So you're 2-0. Because I told you I wanted it within 3 games.
54 and 28.
54 and 28.
Nailed it.
Good job. All right. Your second question. I want the opening day lineup that year, including the head coach.
Okay. Opening.
I'll give you. You're going to get a point for each one you get right, and
I got to write this down. Okay, I got to write this down.
I'll give you a point for each one you get right, and each one you get wrong, you're going to get a minus.
Okay, so it was. All right, I think this is pretty
pretty accurate.
I think it's going to go Raymond Felton, Shumpert. Oh, hold on. Did Shumpert start? Did Shumpert start? I'm going to go Felton,
This
Shumpert.
is opening day now. This is opening day.
I know. I'm going to go Felton, Shumpert, Mello,
Shumpert.
Amari, Chandler. Paul's going Kid, Mello, Amari, Chandler, Shumpert. Was it Kid or Felton? I'm going to go against Paul on this one. I might be wrong. I'm going to go Felton, Shumpert, Mello, Amari, Chandler with Woodson.
Okay, you got the head coach right. You obviously got, so you got 1 point with Woodson. You got 1 point with Carmelo. You got 1 point with Felton. You got 1 point with Chandler. You are wrong with Stoudemire.
He was hurt?
And I guess he was hurt. And you're wrong with Shumpert. So Paul was right with Kid.
I was Kid and that's right, the two back-to-back court.
And then Brewer started.
Because he must, well, Stoudemire was hurt, obviously.
Stoudemire was hurt. So you went 4-2 on that question, and you were 2-0. So tonight I'll give you a 6-2 record.
All right, good. I'll take that. It's a nice little standing board.
That was in honor of our Knicks.
Outside of that one, Paul was ice cold tonight.
Paul's never ice cold.
Update on the Yankees, anybody?
Update on the Yankees. Mr. Sis, what do you got?
14-5, the Astros.
Is it?
No, I don't know. I'm joking.
3-3, eighth inning.
There you go.
Okay, I'll have to turn that on.
Stanton on fire. Another homer. Another double. 2 for 3. 3 RBIs. Mr. Stanton, 308.
Yeah, he's really bringing it.
If
man.
anybody on this network wants to argue that Stanton is not better than Aaron Judge still, please come at us next week. Please. So.
The Stanton Judge debate is on.
Yes, sir.
Well, that was my Stump Kurt in honor of our Knicks clinching their first winning record.
That was good. I would be honest, I would never get the Ronnie Brewer. Never.
Yeah, that's the point of Stump Kurt. You know, can't be preschool questions. You know, they got to be a little tricky there. Sis knows about the preschool questions. You don't get no preschool.
Right.
He's tough. You can't give him those baby things. No way.
So I got a little topic tomorrow for NBA. We'll discuss some NBA. We'll do some picks for those who want to join us with Wits and Wagers tomorrow.
Okay.
And, we could talk some MLB. We could talk a little Yankees Astros. You know, tonight's game in the eighth inning, 3-3. You know, Yankees won the first game. We'll get into that tomorrow. We'll talk about the Yankees Astros series.
All right, perfect.
I think we got a nice little show for you guys tomorrow, our little short hour show. Anything else, Kurt?
That's it. A good show tonight. Again, thank you for our special guest tonight, talking a little Giants, Knicks, NBA, NFL draft.
This guy. Yep.
So.
Yep. Big thank you again to like you said, to Paul, and great show tonight, guys. It was nice rapid fire, little Stump Kurt at the end there. Bronco Mania was always good. Hey, you never know what you're gonna get in the world of sports, and you know Aaron Rodgers is the news right now because he's a star. So you know it's something to talk about, and we change it up a little bit the way we can. You know, we don't we don't like to be like every other show out there. So
yeah,
we do our best to change it up. And
yeah, I mean, if everybody agrees on everything, you don't have a show.
Exactly.
And big thanks to our audience. We got a little. Kurt and I have been discussing a little bit, sis. We're gonna, you know, I think going forward with the show, I think maybe on Thursdays, we may try and even make it more audience participation and open invite for audience members to throw questions at us or call in quick 5-minute calls with us, you know, little quick hitter calls on the Zoom with us on Thursdays. I think we may try that out in the future. So it worked very well on draft night, and I think we may want to go forward with that. Try it out. Try something new, little format out.
Final thought from Bobby Elsmore: Christian I don't know how to say this, but Polasek, first Americans ever, will play in the Champions League final. He's our soccer guy. You want to talk soccer, we got to get him on. This guy knows.
Cristian Ronaldo?
No. It's a team. First Americans ever will play. He's a World Cup guy. So when it comes to the World Cup, we're going to do that. But I want to mention this. I want to congratulate Mr. Siciliano, because Mr. Siciliano won himself. He defeated myself, you, and Carson in our guy Marty from Intercept Your Lunch in the Jersey Challenge, and he's going to win himself not an NFL jersey, but a special Alabama jersey.
Yeah, thank you, Marty, for that. That's really nice of you. I really appreciate that.
And I know Sis wanted to rub something in you, myself.
That's no. Don't. That's tomorrow night. Don't.
Tomorrow. That's a spoiler. You all got to tune in tomorrow to check that out.
Yes.
So that's a little spoiler, but that's it. The green screens are in action again. Always special thank you to Coach Breslin. We're gonna meet him up. We have merchandise again. Our K&K show. Oh, by the way, Coach Breslin saying, did he win a car? He could trade it to you, Kurt. Congrats, sis. So yeah, he's giving a congratulations.
Tomorrow night. I'm gonna bring the car down from upstairs. I have a car upstairs. That's the one I'm gonna send you. This is the car. I'm gonna keep my word. I didn't say what kind of car. I said I'd buy.
You did. And by the way, guys, real quick, I'm showing DMK Apparel, the K&K Sports Show shirts. Rumor is that they are in. So I'm posting the shirts.
Yes, and I got to meet up with Coach. I got to hook up with Coach too, because I got little special order shirts that I ordered as well. So I got to hook up with Coach and get that out to him.
Yep, so the K&K shirts are out. The merchandise are out. Anybody want any K&K Sports Show, please let us know. We got a big order coming up. Can you show it on the track? Shirts are in, guys. So there they are. Shirts are in. And again, this is DMK Apparel. They're awesome. Do an awesome job. Kenny's got some polos coming. We got long sleeve tees, short sleeve tees. Polos are in as well, as he's saying. And again, here's a picture of the K&K
I got to meet up with Coach. I got to hook up with Coach this week sometime. We'll get that squared away.
He's still tight? Because I got to go watch that.
I believe they're still 3-3.
3-3?
I believe 3-3. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Great show. We will see you guys tomorrow. Final thoughts. What's your final thoughts, sis?
Final thoughts, sis.
You can go first, Kenny.
My final thought is a challenge for Kurt. On tomorrow's show, I want to see the all-in. I want to see the K&K T-shirt tomorrow.
Okay, T-shirt. That's good. Deal.
My final thought.
Wear whatever one you want, but I want to see a K&K Sports Show T-shirt.
Deal.
My final thought. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver, how many days will it take Kurt to run out and get an Aaron Rodgers jersey?
As soon as I can get it, I'm getting it.
I mean, a day or 2, 3 days.
Listen, as soon as it's hot, I'll have the website. I'll just keep hitting refresh on the phone. I'll go get that as soon as that happens. Let it happen.
I got a wit and wager K&K style tomorrow for Kurt.
Okay, good.
All right,
has to do with Aaron Rodgers.
See you tomorrow.
Sis, have a good night, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Till tomorrow, and we're gonna watch the rest of this debacle in Denver tonight. So
yeah, keep me informed about that game tonight.
There's not much to be informed. You're down 20. We're down 22 points. That's how we're performed.
They're done.
Well, we knew it was gonna happen.
I know. All right, boys.